Bet you never thought you'd see me do a video logbook, but I'm far too incapable to write anything right now. So that's why this is happening, and I'm sorry it's late. So yeah, I don't really know what to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. My target for today is to work alongside the other directors such as Mandy, Maya and Lydia to produce a skeleton for scene 1 and then start to perfect it as we go into the afternoon. Also, alongside this, I want to be mindful of giving feedback that is sorry, I got lost. That is helpful to people and not just putting them down, and delivering the feedback in really polite but firm ways. This is my target because often in the past I've found that I'm a bit too harsh on people and need to calm down. Also because I haven't worked too much alongside other directors before. If I've ever directed something fully, it would be something in my own company, so I'm not used to having someone else's opinion there, and I think this will help me in the future because it means that I can work really hard. I can work with other directors on future pieces, which means that I have good team building skills and I am able to take other people's opinions and not get annoyed at it, pretty much. This will help me get my distinction in practical skills because I've now changed from being an actor to director. Even though I'm acting in one small bit, I'm not acting throughout the whole thing. Directing is going to be like the main thing for me. And so being able to direct efficiently and politely, I guess, is going to help me get that grade. Yeah, I will achieve this by writing down all of my feedback that I have for everyone and making sure not to shout too often and trying to be as kind and inclusive as possible to the other 2 directors or other director with me. Yeah. So that was... Oh my god, I can't do this. Sorry about that. I had to have a heavy metal break. Yeah, okay. So today we worked on scene 1, working through the beginning from what they had worked on throughout the week. And then we got up to, I think Lydia wanted us to devise Kyle's like monologue-y bit about like the mountains and the trees and God and all of that fun stuff. So we looked at what they had done beforehand. And so I had some feedback on that, which I've posted my notes on my page, so you guys can see like what I'm writing down when I'm in class, pretty much. But yeah, so we had done all of that, and then we started to work on devising the actual bit for the monologue, because Lydia had said specifically that she wanted it to be really, really physical, because obviously it's a physical theatre piece, that's what we're working on. And so she wanted it to be really, really physical. So obviously my mind starts going mad and I'm like, yeah, this will happen and this will happen and we'll throw someone in the air and blah, 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 blah. Obviously that doesn't normally work, but that's okay. So we started looking at it and I got my notes, hold on. Okay, so I had the idea, because Kyle says it was more of a feeling, you know, like when you see in the movies, doctors holding those shock things over a person's heart and they're like, that's talking about a defibrillator. So I had the idea of them, the actors becoming the defibrillator, and so I had people lie down, I had people like curl up and in a line as a bed and someone laid on top and all of that, and we sort of worked through that and it worked really, really well. And when Lydia saw it, she was quite happy with it, so I'm happy with it as well. And it's got expanded since we've done that, so that's really cool and it looks quite good. And it's sort of, we've had the extras sort of sit there and experience that with them and sort of show that through their body as well, which is really cool because it brings more of an atmosphere up and then it cuts straight out into like a crowd again. So yeah, that was me. So we had, obviously in the monologue it says stuff about the mountains and the trees and God standing and angels falling down and death and blah blah blah. So obviously we would embody all of that and we'd make all of that. The only thing I will say during this process that really was a challenge was the other two directors. Now I know in my target I was like, I'm going to be super nice to everyone and be the best person on earth, but we all know that that's not me. I tried to be as polite as possible to the other directors, and I bit my tongue so hard I swear it almost came off. They were really unprofessional, which I've struggled with, and so did the actors. They were talking a lot about things that weren't involved in this process. Oh my god, I thought that was a spider. Okay, they were talking over everyone, they were blocking people's ideas, they weren't letting people speak, and then it meant it was so much harder to do. But we did come up with some good stuff, like Sophie coming down and being the fallen angel, and when her foot touches the floor, everyone dies, because it says, I saw the foot of a fallen angel land upon this place and turn the green grass to dust. So we had all of that. And so we sort of started expanding on that, which was really cool, and worked hard to have all these sorts of ideas come up. And we did try an idea where they became a fidget spinner. It looked awful, but the other two directors were really persistent to get it done, and then eventually, once I was like, okay, yeah, we'll get this done, and started working on it with them, they started just laughing and chatting and blah, and then they were like, oh, let's just give up because we might not do it anyway. And I was like, okay, we spent half an hour on this, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, and then when Lydia came in the afternoon, it all got a lot better. She looked at it and she liked some of the stuff and sort of expanded on it. We had the mountain got changed a little bit. I can't really remember much of this, to be honest with you, because my brain. So yeah, some stuff got changed, and we started to go into this next sort of chunk of the monologue: Muslim, Christian, Jew pouring their blood into the dust and blah blah blah. Sounds like I really love this script, doesn't it? Yeah, so we started looking at all of that and devising that sort of stuff with Yai and being like the center of it, and had some really good ideas. So overall today I feel like I have partially completed my target. I did give some good feedback, or at least what I thought was good feedback, although on that note, every time I gave feedback the other two directors undermined me and said that there was no point in giving feedback because we're only at the early stages, which I personally disagree with, because there's always time for someone to look at where their facial should be. If you're in a certain piece and you haven't looked at your facials until later in the process, it means that you have less time to develop those facials. So you start early, you have more time to work on it, and then the better it will be. But every time I gave feedback, people didn't like it. Not people, them. The directors didn't like the fact that I was trying to make it look better, I guess. Anyway, another idea that I had quickly was I was looking online. I did some research in class on some photos, which I'll put in on my page under my ideas and all of that. Of the fallen angel with the people stacked on top of each other. Actually, I'll see if I can find it. Hold on. Okay, I found it. It's this. Yeah, so I was researching and I found that, and I thought, oh my god, this would be so cool for the bit where they talk about his feathers and the feathers falling, and so I wanted them to come into this formation after everyone fell, and then one by one drop off in cannon. And we did it, and it looked really sick, and Lydia really liked it, and I'm actually quite proud, if you can't tell. I'm actually quite proud of that. So yeah, overall, today went really, really well. Well, quite well, at least. We worked really hard, we got some good stuff. Sorry, I get distracted really easily. We got some good stuff, and I'm really happy with the way the first scene is looking. It's coming together really well, and I'm glad that I didn't lose my temper and that I was able to bite my tongue and not be rude, because that's an achievement for me, because I'm really good at being rude. So yeah, I guess that's that.